If you're anything like me growing up, you tried to build your own Five Nights at Freddy's style pizzeria in Minecraft. Now, of course, back then mods weren't as much of a thing, and for me, I didn't even have mods at all because I played on the Xbox 360, so I had to go with the base game stuff. But today, I'm going to be building my very own Five Nights at Freddy's style pizzeria here in Minecraft. The list of mods is in the description, but you can also just find the pack in CurseForge by searching for the term that is listed in the description as well. So feel free to do that, and if you want to follow along with the build, go ahead. So first things first, we need a block palette of what the basic interior is going to look like. So first up, in this mod, we have a bunch of different sets of blocks, and the first mod has these nicely patterned checkered floor here, which got some kind of detailing in it. Nothing too fancy, but nothing too simple, which is nice. The walls are a bit more simplistic in terms of texture. There is a little bit of almost like a wallpaper pattern on it, and it's got a nice like counter wall here with more of a checkered pattern on the base and then more of the darker up top here. The second grouping here is a bit more textured, and actually I think I like this one the most out of the three in terms of the floor, at least, because it does look a bit more like a grittier floor. It's not super horribly detailed like the first one, but it does give it a bit more of a dull texture to it, as this one feels a bit more brighter and a bit too luminant. However, the walls feel like they have too much texture and it looks too rocky. Especially this lower texture here, which, don't get me wrong, I think the blend into the lighter wall is really great here, but I don't know how I feel about this darker texture here, so I would have to find a way to work around that somehow. There is also this kind of complementary wall here as well, which does have the smaller checkers, but it does also still have that kind of rocky texture to the wall, so I don't really know if I'm going to go with that wall texture. Finally, we have this third pack here, which actually the walls are a bit shorter because there's only 2 blocks. There's no in-between block for the different walls here. But the floor texture, I don't think I'm going to go with at all because it feels too uniform. You know, that one feels relatively spontaneous enough where it doesn't feel like everything's super uniform, whereas this one feels like it's just too much of the same thing. This one, with the walls, however, I really like these textured walls and how it kind of shows the grit in the the stains and stuff against these baseboards and all that such. Like it's a really nice texture, and I will say that these wall tiles here are pretty nice as well. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do with that first. Yeah, I think this is the setup I'm gonna go with. So we got these walls here, and then those floor tiles there. I think that's a really nice combination, and it doesn't conflict really too much with the checkerboard on the wall with the checkers on the floor, so I think that would be great. Now comes the part of laying out where everything in the restaurant is going to be. And I think the first place I'm going to start out with is the main office for the security guard. Actually, I want to make it centered a bit more. There we go, that's centered, and we'll have the door right there. These doors will be right there. Next up, we'll be using this white blue wool here to get ourselves the outer wall, or at least these like kind of the hallways and such, to get ourselves an idea of where that all is going to be. This purple outline here is going to be a supply closet that's off to the side here, similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 1, where it has that supply closet off to the left of the office. This orange square here is actually going to be the prize counter, similar to how it is in the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game, Help Wanted, where the prize counter is actually on the opposite end of where the security office is in that hallway. As the wall comes out along this area towards where Foxy's Cove is actually about to be, I'm actually going to be rearranging where some of the stuff is here in the pizzeria. So give me a moment here, and I'll get a basic layout of the rest of the area set up, and we'll see where we go from there. Alright, so now we finally have a full layout of what I want this place to look like. Now you'll notice that it looks very similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 location, and that's because it really is. However, I did rearrange a few things, so let me go ahead and let you guys know where everything is. So like I said before, the red box here is going to be the security office. It's where we're going to be spending most of our time as the employee here. The brown box there is going to be where the kitchen is, and the orange box is going to be where the prize counter is. Now that cyan box down at the bottom is going to be the cold storage for the kitchen. That purple box, like I mentioned before, is a small supply closet off to the side. The lime green box is actually going to be where the arcade is. The pink box is Foxy's Cove. The yellow box is going to be the main stage where our 3 main animatronics are going to be. The dark blue box is going to be the parts and service room, and that little room next to it is going to be the technician's office. The dark green rooms are actually going to be the bathrooms, and then that magenta square up at the top left is going to be the entrance and the lobby. Now, of course, this doesn't have to be 100% the size. I can adjust things however I need them to be, but I think the first thing I need to do right now is actually get the flooring in. So let's go ahead and do that, and yeah. Just like that, all of our floors are filled out. Now it's time to get the walls set up. What? You mean tell me that those can extend? What? That's weird. It's cool though, but weird. For the technician's office, I actually wanted to have a grodier look for the area, just because it'll probably be less maintained. You know, he's more focused on fixing up the actual animatronics rather than actually maintaining his office. So I feel like it would be really interesting to have like the FNAF 3 kind of tile work there, and using this kind of rockier texture from the other wall that I was considering, I think fits pretty well with this. The tiles do actually match up in terms of size. Unfortunately, the borders aren't the same size, but that's not a huge issue. But yeah, no, I think this is a really nice choice for that kind of grodier thing. And obviously there will be a different wall here for the back of the stage, so it'll separate that off, and this won't actually be seen from the interior at all, except for inside the office. With that, the walls are fully completed, and now it's time to get started on all of the decorating. Whoops, forgot a spot there. Okay, now everything is completed. So now we get started. So the first thing I'm gonna actually decorate here is the prize counter, and what I want to use for that is these quartz stairs, because it's got a nice tiled pattern to it, but it does feel like more of a countertop, so that works really well with that. So let's get ourselves some FNAF decorations. And actually, one of the cool things about this mod that I'm using is it uses different furniture mods that I can have different shelves and such. So I'm going to use these spruce shelves to kind of prop some stuff up, and then in between those I can put these. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica. We could have some stuff on the floor here behind it. We can get stuff like the puppet, and we can get like some different t-shirts, hang them up along the walls. Get some different Faz coins, you know, stacks of Faz coins and all that stuff as your price to get them all. There we go. There we are. Prize counter is now completed with a bunch of plushies, t-shirts, Faz coins, and of course the basketball from Help Wanted, because who could forget that? Next up here is going to be our main stage room, and I actually do have an idea of what I want to do for that as well. So I didn't realize that there are actually two different tables that I could use. I think I like the polka dotted one a little bit more. It's a little less harsh on the eyes. So let's go ahead and get some of these out here. Make sure that they're spaced out enough to where I can use some chairs to have everybody have a seat. So another thing that I did in a previous world where I was kind of messing around with these different mods was I actually had these little table booth sort of things set up along here. So that way people can come and sit down in these instead. If they don't want to have like one of these main party tables or whatever, we can have a few of these scattered around everywhere as well. And that kind of gives it a bit more of a lively feel. And that's also for like if there's an older crowd that wants to come in, you know, not necessarily kids who are part of a actual party. You can still come in and have a seat that's not like the center of attention. Now that we've got a few more of those tables and booths scattered around, it's now time to start working on the main stage. With that, the main stage is now done with the curtain that is pulled back currently on its chain, and that gives us room to place the 3 animatronics. We also have Foxy's stage finished up here too, so now it's just a matter of getting all the animatronics actually in. There's Freddy, there's Bonnie. I didn't realize how tall these guys are, geez. So unfortunately, these are actually super short, so I might actually have to bump this up by 1, which means that I'll have to extend the actual roof of this area soon as well, which, you know what, that's fine. There we go, that's much better. So now that I've actually extended the wall up by 1 in this room, and this room only, I feel like that would be most fitting to have this area as the highest roof, as that is the main attraction of the actual restaurant. Now that we've done that, we can actually focus more on decorating. And of course, next up was the bathrooms, and this was a pretty simple design as it's just got a few sinks here for washing up. It's got some toilets, of course, and toilet paper. The stalls are a bit clunky. They're a little bit thicker than I would have liked them to be, but they do provide a good amount of privacy as we walk in here. You know, obviously you walk in, you don't want to see someone doing whatever they're doing in here, so it does block things off pretty well. And of course, you can go in, you can open it up, have a seat, do your thing. I realized I forgot to actually put these trap doors on the bottoms of these lights, but these are actually redstone activated glass blocks, which actually give off light. So we're using these instead of redstone lamps because it feels a lot more cleaner, a lot more industrial in terms of the modern technology here of the pizzeria. So it gives it a lot more of a clean look, in a bit of a comparison to the grittier walls. So I don't know, I kind of like it. It looks good. After the bathrooms, we headed over here to the parts and service room, where we have created this kind of creepy looking room here with all these heads looking around and the endoskeleton, of course, sitting on the table. Classic design here. And of course, we've got a bunch of other things laying around too, some pipes, some shelves, a few lockers where you can actually store some things if you need to, and also some extra monitors just in case some of the display screens break. This is a really fun room, and of course I did the same thing with the roof and the lighting as well. Of course, there's only one light in here, which gives it a bit more of a dim outlook, and I had to actually extend the wall around a little bit more outside the top here, because this wall is extended up here. The rest of these had to be as well, or else it would have looked kind of out of place from the inside here. Of course, I also have the technician's office done as well, and this is actually styled a bit more off of the FNAF 3 location, where it's got the desk with the little bobbleheads and such on it, and it's got the paper pals on the walls, some drawings and fun stuff like that, kind of just memorabilia around the room. Kind of just some fun stuff there, some filing cabinets, of course. That's a lot of storage, wow. But yeah, that's going to mark this off of our checklist as well. Next up, we have the kitchen, and this is a pretty simple area. It's not got too much going on really at the moment. There's just a couple of ovens, a few shelves and cabinets, and of course the dishwashing area, storage for other stuff as well. Yeah, pretty simplistic area, nothing too fancy going on here, as well as a notice board as well for any of the chefs and stuff to come in. You know, they gotta know different things going on. And then of course the cold storage as well. Kind of boring, but it's got this dim light in here, similar to most cold storage places in actual restaurants. So yeah. And of course, one of my favorite rooms to work on, the security office. We've got a full-on FNAF 1 setup going on right here with the lockers behind us, the desk with the moving fan, of course, the Celebrate poster, a bunch of drawings, and some monitors, and of course, the door functionality and the light functionality. So this is pretty cool, and of course you can try to figure out how to hook this up to some kind of redstone generator if you so wish. I'm not going to for the sake of this video. This is just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, because it's free, and it helps the channel out, and it also shows that you guys enjoy what I'm making and I can keep making more of it. Thank you. Next up, we have the arcade, which is really simple, just a few arcade machines dotted here and there, and of course we put our good old balloon boy here, who is smiling at me really creepily. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, we've got just a few arcade machines here and there. There's claw machine, of course, some chairs for if parents want to sit and wait for their kids to finish their game. But yeah, arcade is finished. And actually, with the windows here, I went ahead and just had some black glass, and there's some window blinds in one of the mod packs here, which you can use to actually, you can block out all outside light with that. It's pretty cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave them like this because it looks like that they've been drawn up a little bit by the drawstring, which is really nice. And here we are with the main entrance. Obviously, things here are a bit more simplistic because there's not really too much to look forward to at an entrance. We have the big old Celebrate poster back here, which actually has the toy animatronics, funny enough, even though we don't actually have them here in the location. That's fine, probably. But yes, here we're featuring the desk from actually FNAF 2. Nice little chair here for the receptionist, for the hostess to chill out at, get everyone's name down for the party or whatever, and then be able to go seat people where they need to be. For parties who are waiting, they can have a seat in these sofas here. And yeah, we're gonna worry about getting the actual doorway here figured out a little bit here, just because I don't want to worry about that until we actually start doing the exterior. But yeah, pretty simplistic in here, nothing too special, except for the giant plants, but that's pretty cool. Finally, we have the supply closet here, which once again is not anything super special. We've got like an extra speaker, extra boxes and stuff like that kind of laying around, but nothing super special going on in here. And with that, our pizzeria is 100% completed, at least in terms of basic structure of each room. So now I'm going to go around with a bunch of posters, pizzas, all that kind of stuff, and make sure that this place is looking 100% like a Freddy Fazbear's masterpiece. So I'll be right back, and we'll see how that goes. I'm actually going to keep you guys from actually seeing the interior just yet, because I want to surprise you all. I think it came out really well, and I want you guys to see what I've come up with. But now it's time to get the exterior done for this build, so let's go ahead and make ourselves the outside of the pizzeria. Here we are at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I wanted to go with more of a simplistic kind of 80s style pizzeria design, so it's very simplistic. Got these wooden planks and the bricks here. The bricks with the pizzeria pattern really helps pull this all together here. But let's just go inside and take a look at what's going on. So I've already showed you guys this interior of this room here. You come in for this area, you get your party checked in, and then they bring you in to the main party room. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. It feels a lot like the spontaneity of the actual games, which is really cool. We've got the main animatronics right here on stage, ready to perform, and we've got a bunch of posters, kids' drawings, and stuff like that all around the place here as well. We got the paper pals scattered everywhere. We've got pizza boxes and presents and plushies and all kinds of stuff going on over here. We've got the out of order signing over here for Foxy, because man's not looking all up to standard here. And over here we have the arcade where Balloon Boy's hanging out. He's just chilling. We've got some fun games over here, a claw machine, a bunch of cool stuff going on over here. Next up at the prize counter, we have a bunch of different prizes and such that you can win based off of how many tickets you get at the games. There's presents laying around here with a bunch of mystery items. There's basketballs and plushies and t-shirts, all kinds of fun stuff over here. Over here in the kitchen, we have the oven set up. We have a bunch of different counter spaces and drawers and cabinets, fridges and sinks and plates and cups and a bunch of crates and all that. And then we have here the cold storage as well, which is really awesome. Next up is the bathroom area, which is complete with a bunch of sinks, toilets, toilet paper, and of course privacy stalls for those who do not want to be interrupted while doing their business, which I don't blame them. And we've also got a mirror going on here, although actually if you pay close attention, it's actually just glass that's facing into the other one, but it's simulating a mirror, so it's fine. Of course, we also have the parts and service area, which has a bunch of different animatronic parts. Did you just move, or am I crazy? Yeah, I'm crazy. But there's a bunch of lockers and pipes and shelves and all that stuff going on in here, just kind of showing the extra storage and kind of, clutteredness of this room. And then of course we also have the technician's office, which actually was never part of the original location, but for sake of logic, there's got to be someone who tends to this kind of thing, and this is probably where he would hang out. So it's a bit more run down, but bit more gross in here. But nothing too shabby. And then of course we have the hallways heading up towards the security office. These have a lot more of the wires and posters and stuff hanging out, really emphasizing that style from the first game. And of course we've got things like kids' drawings and of course the Freddy poster as well off in the distance there. And then we have the supply closet as well, which has got some extra stuff going on in here, some boxes, whatever these things are, and then some speakers and all that stuff. Really nice stuff with this simple lighting as well. The simple lighting is really nice for this kind of room because it gives off more of an eerie kind of feel. And then of course the security office, where we can sit down, have a seat, close the doors, and then we can pull out our trusty camera monitor and take a look at the different cameras in the location. This is a really cool feature that I found, and I'm super happy that it's a thing because it gives you that much more of immersion inside the pizzeria, and you're able to just look around wherever. It's really cool. Hey look, there's me way over there. That's me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a lot different than what I've done before in the past. Also, I realized I don't have a neck. It's just completely empty there. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, and if you really enjoyed, consider subscribing. It's free and it always helps me out, and it makes me smile to see somebody enjoyed the video. There's also links to all the mods in the video as well. Go and check those out. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!